Let's begin with a prayer. May the words of my mouth and the collective meditations of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. First, I want to start out by saying good morning to all the children of God. Good morning. Thank you. I pray that all of you are doing well, and I'm glad that you decided to come to Grove to worship this morning, to be part of the Grove family. And guess what I want to talk about is during the past few weeks, a lot of things have been happening in my life and around me. Some of the things I've seen and some of the things I've heard kind of makes a person shake his head and say, what? I can't believe you did that. Or, I can't believe you said that. I know this happens all the time in our lives, and for some, it's on a regular basis. But I think it was so disconcerting was the fact is that it was coming from professing Christians, children of God, followers of Christ. I'm not saying that we should be looking for perfection, because that's not going to happen. Because perfection has been here already. Perfection has taught us. Perfection has died for us. Perfection has left his guiding words for us. So no, perfection is not ever going to happen again. However, the foundation, or guide, if you will, has been given. A guide for how to be a good follower of Christ is right at our fingertips. And one of the reasons we come to church is to learn more about how we can be a better follower of Christ. And that brings me to a question. I believe everyone has to ask themselves this question. Why do we come to church? Really? Why do we come to church? I know I have my reasons, and I know everyone here has their own personal reasons. And I know the reasons will be very, very diverse. I can tell you just one of my reasons. Carlos told it early, part of it. I come to church out of habit. And before you respond to that, let me say one thing. Some habits are good ones. They're good for you. For example, I have a habit of brushing my teeth several times a day, and I bathe daily. Aren't you glad? So I want to ask that question of you. Why do you come to church? Now, I would be very happy if I could get an answer from some proud soul who would say, just state a reason why you come to church. Fellowship. Inspiration. Peace. Love. Makes me feel good. Worship.
Controls our life.
What was that?
Controls our life.
Controls our lives. Salvation.
Worship God.
Worship God. Thank you. Thank you. As I suspected, you probably did too. The answers were unique to each person responding. You may have heard a response that corresponded with your unspoken thought, but I'm quite sure the path taken by each individual to get to that point was different. Whatever your own personal reason for coming to church may be, when we're in this house of the Lord, we seem to act differently. Coming together with fellow believers, worshiping and sharing our love for the Lord. And after the service, we gather together to enjoy the company of our brothers and sisters in Christ. And after 2 hours, we're on our way home, back to our lives. How long does that feeling of warmth and fulfillment stay with you? How long does that desire to want to worship the Lord and share the love of Christ dwell within you? Is it gone by the time you leave the church doors? Is it gone by the time you leave the social gathering in Mitchell Hall? Is it gone by the time you turn left or right on Post Road? Is it gone by the time you arrive at your next destination, especially if you're on the road with someone with very questionable driving practices? Reasons for these questions is because I believe in our hearts we should hold on to the desire to be good disciples of Christ more than just a few hours one day or just a few moments on several days. I personally would like to be a 16/7 Christian. 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you think I can do it? Do you think you can do it? Speaking on my behalf, no. I'm being honest. No matter how hard I try, I know I can't. To paraphrase Paul, why is it the things I should do, I don't do, and the things I shouldn't do, I do? We are humans. We are fallible. We're sinful. Through the grace of God and the saving blood shed by our Savior Jesus Christ, there is hope. Just because we will never be able to reach perfection doesn't mean we can't strive to be our very best. So, how can we become more pleasing in God's sight? What can we do that will help us become one with God? Well, last week, Dave told us that during the time in which the Old Testament was written, sacrifices of animals were given. Not just any animal, but the very best was given. Ones that were unblemished. As it is stated in the first verse of the 17th chapter of Deuteronomy, do not sacrifice to the Lord your God an ox or sheep that has any defect or flaw in it, for it would be detestable to him. A rather tall order. But that's how it was under the old covenant. It was God's good, pleasing, and perfect will to have it done that way. So, how do we become one with God under the new covenant? There is no more sacrificing of animals. As we all know, the final sacrifice has already been made to atone for our sins. But God so loved us and showed his glorious mercy by giving his only begotten Son. And as believers and followers of the new covenant, we need to be prepared to offer a living sacrifice to God, ourselves. As Paul wrote in the 12th chapter of Romans, therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. And I don't believe anyone knew any more about transforming one's mind as he was known as Saul, seeking out believers of the way to destroy them, to become Paul, where he died for the very one he wanted to destroy in the beginning. I don't think anyone else knows anything about transforming our mind more than Paul. Now, to me, that's a taller order than an unblemished ox or sheep, sacrificing our own lives. The ox or sheep didn't have to worry about what unacceptable words came from its mouth, or what unacceptable acts it performed, or what unacceptable thoughts went through its mind. However, those are the things we need to concern ourselves with. To offer ourselves as unblemished sacrifices to God is indeed impossible. However, that doesn't mean we don't strive to offer our very best. We shouldn't want to be like Cain and offer God what we think is good enough. God will let you know what he finds acceptable. Of course, you'll have to talk to him through prayer and listening, and I believe he'll let you know. Let us prepare ourselves as a living sacrifice to God, and that will be our preparation to be good disciples for Christ. As Carol spoke of 2 weeks ago, we are to be farmers, going forth and sowing the words and love of Christ. Well, if you're going to be a farmer for Christ, you have to speak like a farmer, act like a farmer, and talk like a farmer for Christ. You have to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your strength, and all your mind. And we should try to do this all the time. This will set the commitment to our godly thoughts and desires in our hearts. We need to love our neighbors. In the words of Jesus, you have heard that it was said, love your neighbors and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. Now there is no description of who your neighbor is, what your neighbor looks like, where your neighbor comes from. I must be honest and tell you something that made my blood run cold several days ago when I heard a fellow believer refer to a person as one of those people. It was not too long ago that I was referred to as one of those people. Different category, but one of those people, just to say. When you speak, let your words be pleasing to God. When you proclaim to be a Christian, people will definitely listen whenever you say anything. Only but too often they're waiting for you to say something wrong, something ungodly. As written in the book of James, all kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, and creatures of the sea are being tamed by man. But no man can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil, full of deadly poison. With the tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it we curse men who have been made in God's likeness. Out of the same mouth come praise and cursing. My brothers, this should not be. Brothers and sisters in Christ, it's easy, simple. Just love your neighbor. And your actions. Let your actions be another acceptable offering to God. If you're going to talk the talk, you better be able to walk the walk. I truly believe that in most cases, people will remember what you do much longer than what you say. And if your actions do not correspond to the acceptable words you are speaking, then everything you have said and everything you have done to honor God is null and void in the minds of all you have been witnessing to. Brothers and sisters, I don't know about you, but I want to strive to honor my God in a better fashion than I'm doing now. I want to be a better disciple for Christ, sharing his love. We all know this world could use a lot more love. I want to work toward being a 16-7 Christian. I know that's an impossibility, but I want to enjoy the journey trying to get there. That brings to mind, this is a quote by Helen Keller. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. I have a confession. This sermon was perhaps the most difficult one I have done so far. By taking a closer scriptural look at how through divine and holy guidance, my actions, words, and thoughts can become more pleasing to God, I realize how far short I fall. I know I have had a renewing of my mind, but that brings about a really big question. Have I done enough in the way of renewing my mind? I ask myself, have I done enough? In the words of Paul, as read in our New Testament lesson, O wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death? There's only one who can deliver us from our bodies of death, from our life of sin. Jesus Christ is the only way. And Jesus' way is that we abide in three things: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Amen. We will be singing hymn 560, I Love to Tell the Story.